Today's lesson is on preventing hitting volleys in the net. Do you have that problem where you're at the net, you get that volley where you want it, and you dump it in the net? Now, there's usually a couple of reasons for that. Number one, you could be swinging down too much. You know, we don't give that net enough respect, okay? It may look like a low barrier, but you still have to hit out when you hit that volley. You don't want to think down unless you're really close to the net. So that may be one reason you're swinging down too much. The other reason is you may be, what I've noticed, and this happens a lot with beginners, but I've seen it with players that have been playing for a long time as well. They don't turn. In other words, they're at the net, they bring their racket back, the racket invariably comes up about head high, okay, like this, and they're not stepping in, their shoulders are parallel with the net. Now here's what happens, and I'll show you from a side view. When you don't turn and you just bring the racket back like this, you can only reach so far and then your racket starts to go down. And when you turn like this and you're pushing the racket forward like that, timing is critical. You have to hit the ball exactly at the right time. Because if you swing too early, you see the ball's going to go down. Okay, so the cure for this is turn the shoulders, turn sideways when you hit a volley. Step into it. And then, here, I'll show you from the side. So I turn, I step, so I'm sideways when I'm hitting the ball. The racket is not going to tend to want to go this way as much. You're going to go out, hit through the ball and out towards your intended target. And use your knees as elevators, okay? You want to try to keep your head, the racket head, and the ball on the same level. So your eyes are on the same level as the ball. So if you see a low ball coming in, you're going to be like this, if possible. You know, you got to use those legs, okay? So those are some key points that you want to think about if you're hitting the ball in the net. And like I say, I've seen this with beginners especially, but even people that have been playing a long time, they don't turn. And you watch, when you make an error in the net, I guarantee if you freeze just for a moment and you'll see that your shoulders are parallel with the net. You're going to dump balls in the net if your shoulders are parallel with the net. You want to turn those shoulders, get sideways when you're hitting those volleys. Okay, let's take a look in slow motion and we'll highlight some of the key points. Turn the shoulders. That's the key. Step into the volley. Aim for a safe margin over the net and just hit through the shot. Okay, here now watch. The shoulders are turning. I'm going to step in and I'm hitting through here. The racket face is slightly open. I'm hitting through and aiming for a high window over the net, or at least a safe margin, depending on where I want to hit the ball. Okay, again, in slow motion, we're going to look here at some low ones and how I use the knees as elevators to get down. Okay, and the racket face is open. And I'm hitting the ball back. These are low dipping shots. I'm hitting the ball back at the same angle they're coming in. Okay, here in slow motion again, you're going to see how the knees are used. as elevators. I'm going to drop the rear end down to get low, open the racket face, and now I'm hitting the ball back at the same angle it was coming in on. So watch how much I clear the net by here. See, I've got safe clearance over the net. Okay, here's some from the side. And this is one of the key points. If you're turning the shoulders, just remember where that contact point is. It's about even with the front shoulder. So when you go out to practice, think about that. I want to turn sideways and make contact about the same, even with the front shoulder, right there. Boom. You can see my racket is about even with my front shoulder. The racket face is slightly open. I'm hitting through a nice safe window over the net. Well, I hope you enjoyed that video. Another thing you can keep in mind is this, that if you focus on the contact point, okay, if you turn sideways when you hit that volley, you turn the shoulders, keep the left hand on the throat of the racket a little longer, that will make sure that you turn those shoulders. So keep that left hand on, turn here. Now when you go to hit the ball, when you step in, you're making contact with the ball about even with the front shoulder. Okay, so that would be a good checkpoint for you. You know, when you're practicing, front shoulder is where I want to make contact. If you're like this, the front shoulder is not a factor anymore. So you've got to turn so you can make contact about even with the front shoulder. Please subscribe, give me a like, share it with your friends. All the best to your tennis success. Take care.